Hi there. I appreciate everybody's patience. As it turns out, I'm running only about a minute or so late. I am just washing some basmati rice, and Jamie is chopping up almonds. So thank you very much for that. Very much appreciate everybody's patience, and I apologize for the delay. I didn't, well, I was, again, hoping to have everything done just by about now, but of course, things happen, especially when preparing food. You can never really, something always seems to happen. But nonetheless, we are just about ready. So, again, I very much appreciate everybody's patience here. We are just going, yeah, exactly. Well, it's only about half a cup of almonds, but yeah.
This is way more than half. Are you serious?
No, I'm serious. I did half a cup of almonds. So, nonetheless, it looks like this rice is almost ready. And yeah, especially when doing basmati rice, as anybody knows, you definitely have to wash it. I know there's a whole thing about washing your rice versus not washing your rice, but basmati, quite simply, has this coating, this dry coating, dusty coating, or whatever it is, that if you don't wash basmati rice, it will taste funny. So you absolutely do have to wash this kind of rice here. And I think I am just about ready now. So even though we're only running about a minute or two behind schedule, we are just about finished. And again, I can only appreciate everybody's patience here. Nonetheless, let me drain this just a wee bit more. And finally, okay, there we go. I'm sure this is not the only case where something has started maybe a wee bit late here.
You're a minute late. People go like 15 minutes late sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. I'm only about a minute late, but nonetheless, there we are. Uh, hello, everybody. Welcome to the witching hour. It is, in fact, here on the East Coast anyway. It is midnight, actually 12:02 p.m. a.m. And yeah, as they say, the magical hour has, in fact,
There's your half a cup. Do you want the rest of them?
yes, preferably. Okay. Yeah, and again, the magical hour is here upon us. Despite my stuttering, it's only because I always get a little nervous when I start these things, as you know. But we managed to get by. And anyway, I've never claimed to be a professional, which is why I very much appreciate anybody who would show up here at this particular time of night. Hello, Pip Gorn. Hello, Granny Graham. Nice to see familiar faces here, especially since, well, because it is, as you know, midnight on Halloween. We are doing things a little bit different tonight, as you can see.
I'm actually in the kitchen.
Well, yeah, for one, Jamie's actually in the kitchen, yes. What I should actually do at this point is start with start getting the rice ready so that it will be ready. So let me very quickly, here it is. Got to find this spatula here because this is wet rice. Thank you again to everybody for your patience here. But yeah, this, as I found out for the record, is a very easy way to cook basmati rice. It's was a little unusual, but it worked very well when I tried it. As you know, the ratio for cooking rice for most folks is simply, 2 to 1. And right here, I've got 2 cups of basmati rice, and you would expect to be doing 4 cups of water. Well, in fact, we're only going to do 3 cups of water, and we are going to bring it to. Is that right? 3 cups of water? Yeah, that's right. 3 cups of water, and we're going to bring it to a boil without covering it, which again I know is not exactly how you normally do this, but as I found out, it works. So from there, we'll be able to continue. Nonetheless, here we go. 3 cups of rice. 3 cups of water, rather. 2 cups of rice. And away we go. At last. Once again, thank you very much to everybody for your patience here. And having said that, there we go. Okay. Hello, I'm making basmati rice right now too. Yeah, running late on meal prep. Yes, does that sound familiar or what? That's how it is, unfortunately, when you're doing well, cooking, especially cooking magic, which is what I'm trying to do tonight. Now, as I said, this is in fact Halloween, which a lot of people consider to be a night of magic, so to speak. And especially since now that we are actually into November 1st, at least here on the East Coast, we're also into another very special day, which is the Day of the Dead, Dia de Muertos. Dia de los Muertos. Thank you. Dia de los Muertos. Yeah. Yeah, my Spanish has never been the best. So
That's what my tattoo is.
yes. And that's one reason why I wanted to do this at midnight, especially so that we could do both Halloween or Samhain or whatever you call it, as well as Dia de los Muertos. And just really pretty much cast a spell of peace for everyone. And that would include everyone living or dead. I know that sounds a little strange coming from a channel that mostly has to do with cooking and cast iron, but really this is pretty much has been my intention. Well, not this night, but I mean, the whole point has been my intention from the very beginning, because if you look at the description of my channel, it actually says and has said from the beginning that this is dedicated to the art of cooking magic. And that's really what I was hoping to get into tonight, which, especially since it's not your usual time of night, that's why I wanted to do the subject a little bit differently here. Hello, Rick Stumbow. Happy Halloween. Had jasmine last night. Oh, yes, jasmine rice.
That's what we eat all the time.
Yeah, that's what we have all the time. It's my favorite kind of rice, really. It's sweet and it's easy to make. And although some people argue otherwise with jasmine rice, so usually I don't wash it in advance and it still comes out fine. And Roy, what were you planning on making with the basmati rice? Yeah. The intent of this dish actually is, as I mentioned, is a little bit of cooking magic, and that's why we've got our. That's why I've got my cauldron here, or AKA a South African poiki, the number 3 poiki that I've used in a number of videos, and also here we are boiling up a nice little potion, specifically. Ooh, this is turning out nicely. Yeah, this looks pretty good. And this is, in fact, ground nut stew, aka peanut butter chicken, which is, as you know, a popular African dish, one that's made with a lot of sweet potatoes and a lot of curry as well. And that's what the basmati rice is going to do. Only within the last couple of months or so, I've made a video. I've made a particular rice dish that actually can be credited to none other than Aleister Crowley, that's the famous occultist or from history. And whether or not you feel he really was the Beast 666, or if he was simply an eccentric author of occult literature, he did come up with a nice recipe for basmati rice, meant especially to accompany curry dishes. And when I made this, I mean, so far everybody I've made it to has really liked it. Jamie liked this dish, and so did my New York friends. That would be Panic and Anthony, all of which it's a very nice sweet rice dish. And so especially when you accompany it with curry, it is really worth making. And so I felt, especially because it comes from Aleister Crowley, I felt it would be nice to make this for tonight. Look this up. I do have the recipe on my website, and I'm even if it may or may not be with this the description of this video, it's simply, well, you could say Aleister Crowley's rice, or Riz, R-I-Z, Aleister Crowley. I noticed the websites that published the recipe for this dish, for this rice dish, that is, I can tell they never actually cooked it for themselves. How can you say that? Because they called it Aleister Curry's curried rice, and they say that it's supposedly is a pretty hot recipe that will really burn your mouth, and that's not true.
Not
It's
even remotely close.
no, it's actually a sweet rice, and it's really meant to cool your palate when you have, yes, exactly, when accompanying one of Aleister Crowley's blazing hot curry dishes. And hello also to John Nathan Shopper and Jerry Boyle. I was hoping you were going to cook Eye of Newt. Well, may not be Eye of Newt, but on the other hand, I'd say we are doing something pretty similar to it here, because as I mentioned already, this is in fact ground nut stew, which I chose especially because I have to say the consistency really is something that looks like you would get out of a witch's cauldron here. And it may not be Eye of Newt, but we do have chicken, and we have sweet potatoes and regular potatoes and lots of peanuts. We've got peanut butter and peanuts as well in it. You doing okay?
I just never heard anybody like pronounce Jonathan that way.
I'm sorry?
I've never heard anybody pronounce Jonathan that way.
Jonathan? Oh, I see. John. Well, no, his okay. The reason why I pronounce it that way is that's actually what his YouTube name is. It says John Nathan Shopper. So yeah, I mean you can look at it yourself. So yeah. Sorry, John or John Nathan or Jonathan. Seems that apparently your name really struck a funny bone with Jamie. Not in a bad way either. No. But nonetheless, I mean, if you look at this here.
You guys heard that before. You know, his name's John Nathan.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and one other thing about the Eye of Newt while we're at it. You know, as you know, the Eye of Newt comes, of course, from that famous incantation.
Right,
yeah, thank you so much. The incantation from Macbeth, you know, the Shakespeare play, as if I really had to say that. Yes, exactly. Talking, and in which they are brewing up a cauldron of just that. It's really a curse. It's meant really to cause trouble, quite frankly. Double boil. No, actually, it's bubble.
Yeah, I just said bubble,
yes.
Boil
and trouble.
Yeah.
And this is not my intention. Whoops. Yeah, it would help if I held this thing right. But anyway, that's not my intention tonight. So actually,
more than a half cup.
Oh, that's all right. So the Eye of Newt, I don't think would be very appropriate with this. 1 second, please. We are just putting some. Well, this is actually a lot more than slivered almonds. It's really pretty much.
Sorry, my bad.
No, that's okay.
Well, to get the big chunks down to this size, this is what it ends up happening.
Oh, wait a second. This was a whole cup. Okay.
Gee.
I thought I had done half a cup.
I told you.
Okay.
Well, it's not half a cup.
Well,
like, yes, it is. I'm like, no.
That's all right.
But I'm looking at it.
That's okay.
My hand says,
yeah.
It's not.
All right. Sorry about that.
I held the knife for such a long time to cut like that. I don't have cows built up anymore.
Well, we'll have to. Oh, speaking of Trouble, where is he at? Well, right now, Trouble is actually, yeah, he is probably hunting down mice at this moment. Yeah, exactly. He's crouching over there in the corner, probably keeping an eye out for mice. And I'm not just saying that figuratively. He literally is looking out for mice. So, yeah. Because living on a ground floor apartment here in the city, we do tend, unfortunately, to attract mice, and that's really just pretty much a fact of life.
If someone in Worcester
Which is
don't have mice, they're lying.
Yes, which is one reason why we actually got cats. So I'm sure Trouble will be making an appearance soon enough. Anyway, the rice is just going to come to a boil, and then the water is rather, and once that happens, all we have to do is cover it and boil it a little more. Meanwhile, as I said, our potion here is also coming out very nicely. So once again, I can thank you very much, everybody, for showing up. So, yeah. Now, there are some people they're here both on YouTube and in other places who have very much more elaborate little rituals going on. But as I said, I do not claim to be a professional, and I'm just really I just felt like doing it just because I wanted to do it. As I mentioned already, my yes, exactly. I better actually hold on one second. Trouble is causing trouble. Trouble. He's bringing all these things down here. Oh, Dick. Okay, come here, Trouble.
Don't walk on the bedroom.
No, I
He's
know,
gonna tear.
I
He's
know.
gonna just.
I know. Again, sorry for the delay here.
So fresh.
Yes, exactly. Seems like Trouble just now decided to crawl up the side of the refrigerator, and he was about to knock all of the magnets and stuff we have down.
Shiny. It's probably the lights reflecting off of it.
Yes, exactly. So you asked where Trouble is? He's definitely right here causing trouble.
Go. Listen, Eric.
Yeah.
Go.
But anyway, as I said, this again, I do not. Okay. Oh, sorry. You're all right?
I inhaled almond.
Okay. Anyway, as I said, this is I guess really what I had. If I do sound a little nervous, I guess it's also because making a confession of this kind on YouTube is the type of thing that could very well come back to bite me, whether it's like about a month or a year later, who knows. At some point during some internet argument, when someone's trying to harass me, he's going to bring up this video and pretty much try to use it to demonstrate what a Looney Tune I am, because here I am talking about spells and magic. I mean, what do you think this is? Harry Potter? No, it's not Harry Potter. Yes, exactly. And those who know even a little bit about magic, whatever you call it, they know that all too well as well. So also, for that matter, I know that if there are some people who are so offended by my talking about this subject that they may feel like they want to leave this channel, they're certainly free to do so. I mean, after all, they are the ones who chose to show up here at midnight on Halloween night. So, yes, exactly. But anyway, I guess what I'm saying is, yeah, as I said from the beginning, really, this has been my the intention of this channel, what I call the art of cooking magic. And when I say cooking magic, what I mean is that this is something that has been very close and personal to me. I've always felt that the cooking has really been, I've said before, it's been kind of like a form of meditation. I use it really to help calm myself down, to block out the rest of the world, concentrate on the projects at hand. And that is really the basis of my magic, because here I will quote actually one author who really very much inspired me to do this, and that would be Alan Moore. Yeah, the comic book writer, a very famous writer of comic books. But in other words, yes, he is an author, and he's a published author, and actually quite an acclaimed author too. And as he put it, as he says, quite frankly, like this, the idea here is that when he reached the age of 40, as he says, he decided, rather than going through something as mundane as a midlife crisis, he decided it would be much more interesting to shock his family and friends by going completely mad and declaring himself to be a magician. And indeed, that's actually quite a dangerous thing to do. You see, if you actually declare yourself to be a magician and you start practicing magic on a regular basis, then one of these days you're going to wake up and you're going to find out that's exactly what you are. Now, I do not claim, and I have never claimed, to be the type of magician who uses wands and potions. Rather, my magic has always been here in the kitchen. Let me cover the rice, in fact, because it looks like the rice is starting to boil. And all we have to do now, there we go. Boil it for about 12 actually, yeah, that's right. I believe we just have to simmer it for 12 minutes. In fact, let me take this down, the temperature down a little bit. We simmer it for 12 minutes, then we take it off the heat for another 12 minutes. And here's the thing, and here's where I think this may appeal to anybody here. If you under when I talk about magic, I am not talking about silly Hollywood razzle dazzle hocus pocus, whether it's Harry Potter or Doctor Strange or Gandalf facing the Balrog or anything like that. It's more like um, magic. I guess you could say it this way. In the earliest days, you know, when during the earliest beginnings of civilization, when there was a very strong belief in magic, what they really called another name for magic, they called it the art. And really, that was the part that was suggested that you could very well take that literally. That what is magic? Magic is art. It's not summoning demons or changing the weather or anything like that. It's actually creation. It's creating art and doing so in a manner that really comes from yourself. And that is the part I have definitely felt when I do my cooking here, in that I take a lot of this very, very personally, and it gives me great enjoyment to know that I'm creating something really special that comes again from deep within myself. And whether it's, in my case, whether it's cooking something special in my cast iron, or say someone taking a mechanic taking a special amount of time to restore a vintage auto, I mean, even in his own time, as opposed to simply on the job, or someone indeed writing stories or painting or photography, or even, well, just loving their family and taking care of their kids. That special feeling that you get that really can't be explained when you feel like you've accomplished something really, really personal. And yes, that can even come from prayer too. For religious folks who again, who not just do the daily or weekly going to mass, but when you have a moment where you really feel like something or someone has touched you, that is an inexplicable feeling that you could very well just call magic. And that's the kind of magic that I've been trying to create here on this channel. As I mentioned, this is the art of cooking magic, and that is my confession. So, as I said, if some Looney Tune wants to say that, yeah, does this mean I'm just brewing up magical potions and hocus pocus and all that? Well, yeah. Yes, it is. I will not deny that, because, hey, again, here is a potion that I'm making tonight, and definitely I'm doing so with the intent, as I said, of making a wish or casting a spell of really peace and prosperity to all here on this night of Halloween, or Dia de los Muertos. Dia de los Muertos. Yes, and Dia.
Dia de los Muertos.
Exactly.
So also, you're also for health.
Yes.
And the potion.
Mm-hmm.
And for the itis, so we'll sleep well.
Well, there is that. Yes. I mean, after all, I mean, you know, the beginnings
of sleeping potion.
Yes, the beginnings of science did start in alchemy. I mean, after when the original alchemists were in fact trying to learn about the makeup and structure of the universe and ourselves, trying to do things like really heal the sick, or turn lead into gold, yes, or bring on prosperity. But still, that was that was indeed the beginnings of science. Science, of course, has since moved on and really developed especially over the last last few centuries or so. But nonetheless, we can still bring we still owe a little bit of debt to the original alchemists and magicians who got us started.
Well, see, nowadays people are saying it's manifestation.
Yeah.
It's all by just a different name.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
So that's really why I wanted to stay up until the witching hour here on Halloween, especially to put together this potion of just that, of chicken and and potatoes, accompanied by Aleister Crowley's rice.
Mr. Crowley.
Yes, so that we have, yeah, it's a way of, as I said, way of wishing good luck and good health to everyone. And if that sounds a little corny, so be it. Yeah, besides, I can honestly say that I'm not going to like transform my channel into this kind of subject matter. No, it's rather, this is, as far as I'm concerned, this is just simply an extension of it. And every once in a while, I may go off on a tangent like this. And again, if you want to go back to regular, just that restoration of cast iron and talking about the history of Birmingham Stove and Range and the like, well, there's always going to be a lot of that on that channel. Talk about it tonight, or more likely on the next live on Cast Iron Wednesday. So that's really pretty much what it is. Hello, Rick Stumba. Indeed, well, do love cast iron and cooking, and it definitely shows. Well, yeah, as I said, I get a lot of enjoyment out of this, and that's really what makes it special for me. So, and Pawpaw Dan, hello, nice to see you. Eating a snack and lost track of the time. So again, thank you very much. For everybody who was stuck around here. And having said all that, well, as I said, let's get down to business here. Once this rice is ready, I mean, this is not going to take an hour and a half either. We've already got. Can anyone tell me about the smell? Can anyone else almost smells it as he stirs the pot? Well, I will definitely take that as a compliment. Because again, in addition to chicken and a lot of peanuts and peanut butter, we've got some coriander and of course garlic and naturally a lot of curry mixed in with this. So, yeah, there's definitely a very nice scent here in my kitchen. And that's another reason why I can definitely call this a potion. I really do like the consistency of this particular dish, though. And I'm definitely looking forward to chowing down on this. Okay, just gotta be sure it doesn't burn. Anyway, other than that, as I mentioned already, here is the cast iron poiki. Over here, by the way, I haven't said too much about this. This is actually a Wagner, an unmarked Wagner #9 chicken fryer. The base of this I managed to score at Brimfield a couple of years ago. In fact, in 2018, I managed this. In fact, I acquired this when I was making that first video of going to Brimfield. If you saw in that video there, I acquired the Wagner cast iron chicken fryer at that time. I then went on to the cast iron selling groups and managed to make a deal on a lid to fit it. So over here, on the other hand, we've got more cauldrons in question. Two of these, in fact, are the Lodge 1.1 pint country kettles, which are actually very nice little cauldrons. Let me if you want, let's take a closer look at one of these. So you can definitely call this a cauldron because that is, in fact, what it is. And not just because of the shape either. The lids, they did not come with the lids. Rather, the lids I managed to acquire when at the Lodge outlet store on my first trip to the National Cornbread Festival. In fact, this particular one in the center is a fairly new, at least new to me, cauldron. This one here was found by in fact, by Jamie's son recently at on a flea market expedition. In fact, he came across it for about $10 and encouraged me to pick it up, and so I did. Let me see if I can get a good view of this. Curious thing about this is I think it's actually modern, largely because of the way this is cast. It does in fact have a gate mark and a sprue mark, the mark on the side of a cauldron, which shows where the two halves of the mold came together, was being manufactured. However, the manufacturer actually did take the time to grind those marks down, and they are still very plainly visible. That's why I think this is modern, and it's probably fairly cheaply made as well. And Terrence R., will you be using hammered prison labor cast iron? Not tonight. However, recently I managed to complete a set of those, at least. And so I now have a number 3, a number 5, and a number 8 ugly hammered. It's rumored that they were made with prison labor, yes. I don't believe there has ever been any actual documentation produced to absolutely confirm it, but it is a very popular conjecture, and one that actually does have some, I guess, some historical evidence. Well, not evidence, but very much in its favor, in that the idea being is that there are so many of those ugly hammered pans out there, and yet nobody can seem to identify any kind of a manufacturer. So, or any papers or any records at all of who the manufacturer was. So it had to have been someone who had the ability to create a lot of those, and yet, again, not leave a lot of records behind. So that's why the theory came into place that this was actually made with prison labor, because it was well known that, again, prison laborers for the longest time were in fact used as cheap labor by a number of companies. And that even includes the earliest days of BSR, Birmingham Stove and Range. So that is a sad fact of history, unfortunately. I mean, yeah, it seems like no matter what subject you get into, there's a dark side to it. Nonetheless, especially in regards to the use of prison labor, I mean, I find that that's something I really cannot condemn today. The idea being is, of course, all of that took place a century ago, and there's nothing we can do about it now because the reforms have already been done. And so all we have now, of course, are the cast iron pans that those laborers made with their own hands. So it's not, so I really don't feel like I can say, no, I'm not going to use this. It's not the same as if I came across one of those unfortunate racist caricatures of the salt and pepper shakers or something at a flea market, which I definitely will not touch if I ever come across them. Or likewise, Nazi memorabilia. Where, as you know, that's actually still pretty popular, regrettably, among military memorabilia collectors. Nazis emblems and logos and pieces, they, unfortunately, there's quite a market for those. So in that respect, I am actually very, very grateful that Nazi Germany never did produce a cast iron pan or skillet or pot or anything like that with the swastika on it, the Nazi swastika, that is. Because, oh man, would that ever have opened a can of worms in regards to morality and historical arguments on the cast iron cooking group and elsewhere in this hobby. I mean, it's bad enough for us that we have to worry about cast iron pans that may or may not have been used for melting lead, as well as that historical stain, namely the one of prison labor. Fortunately, we don't have to worry about things like cast iron pans with Nazi marks on them. Thank goodness. And I like the CHF, Chicago Hardware Foundry 88 and 89 hammered patterns, and I'm proud to own both. Well, congratulations on that. Great quality. Yeah. I mean, definitely. They're really, I would definitely say they are a work of art. And that's why at least I'm glad to own a set of 3 ugly hammered pans for precisely that reason. So, Hog, did you make witch's stew? As a matter of fact, yes. I mean, check this out, shall we? I'd say this is probably really reaching the point where I don't think I even have to keep the heat on. I would say everything looks like it's pretty close to done now. And for that matter, don't want to make too much more of a mess. And for that matter, we'll just turn off the heat here. let's also turn off the heat and move this down. And take this off the heat for about another 12 minutes or so, and then this rice will be ready. Yeah, that's also a reason why, yes, I chose these trivets for tonight as well. I mean, as I've said enough times, I mean, you can see the star of chaos here in the center of this, and that's why I'm very glad to own this particular trivet. Recently, I came across this trivet here on another antiquing expedition, and I'm quite happy with that as well. My understanding is that even Griswold made trivets in this shape. This one is not a Griswold. It is unmarked. All I can see on the back of this one is a number, which looks like maybe a 2-6 or the like. So I really do not think this is a Griswold, but I'm actually quite happy to have it nonetheless. So yeah, old helmets. Old helmets. Well, I'm guessing it's probably from another conversation. So even so, I should probably also say as well that, midnight in the witching hour on Halloween night, a lot of followers of the different pagan faiths, and whether it's Wicca or otherwise, a lot of folks like to stay up all night celebrating and cavorting and engaging in all sorts of sin and debauchery. And it's a lot of fun when you do so too. This is about as much debauchery as I'm doing for tonight, though, so I'm not going to get in trouble with YouTube. And also, I really am not. I'm really not the type of person to go out of my way to do that, but it's still a lot of fun nonetheless. And we are probably getting close to that point, I'm pleased to say. So, but as I mentioned, oh yeah, there's a lot of, as you know, Halloween, or Samhain as they call it, or Samhain. Yeah, it's not pronounced Samhain, it's pronounced Samhain. So yeah, and so it is. Or as some people like to call it, All Hallows Eve, because this has been a very important and popular night in many religious traditions when Christianity came around. And no, I'm not going to be bashing Christianity, don't worry. But when Christianity came around, it is true that they actually did have a lot of politics involved, to the point where they really did try to insert a lot of stuff into their own holidays by, let's say, borrowing from other traditions. And that's one reason why this is also All Hallows Eve, or in other words, the Feast of All Saints. So not that there's really anything wrong with that. And meanwhile, I have one, as Dr. M says, hello, Volkswerks Garage, happy Halloween. Pawpaw Den, message retracted. I have one lid that I move back and forth. As you know, the lids take a beating from steam and need to be used a lot. Oh, definitely, no question there. Lids have always been a scarce commodity. I think the reason why is because, you can use a cast iron pan without the lid, but it's really a lot harder to use the lid without the pan. So I guess that's why lids have always been scarce. And that's why, always make a point of grabbing stray lids if you can find them. That's also one reason why I recently restored a Taiwan-made lid, and I have every intention of using it as well. The 88 is a Dutch oven. Oh yeah, talking about CHF. The 88 is a Dutch oven, and the 89 is the chicken fryer. And the one I found here in Michigan, and the fryer I found in North Dakota. Not bad for something made in Chicago. Of course, yeah, I know. That's just because they distributed them all over the place. I think we are just about ready to be done with that rice, I'm pleased to say. So let's check that, shall we? I think we can move this back here at this point. Oh yeah, check this out. Nice. And once again, this is how you make basmati rice in cast iron. As you can see, it is definitely not sticky. It looks like the consistency turned out very nice indeed. So that means we are now ready to put together Aleister Crowley's rice dish. And believe it or not, what is a simple rice recipe. It does not involve any special incantations or ceremonial prayers or anything like that. But you can do them yourself if you want. One thing I forgot to get out, though, was the butter. Because, butter is always essential in rice. So let's take care of that right now. Always, it's like you can never forget the butter when making rice. Mix that in. And then from there, once the rice is done, it's really just a matter of stirring in some very simple, don't splash it all over the place, some very simple ingredients. And I appreciate everybody waiting while I washed the rice at the beginning of this video. As I mentioned, this is basmati rice, and that definitely does have to be washed. Oh yeah, it's already though. This is taking on a nice buttery scent as the butter melts and mixes in with the rice, and I'm really looking forward to this. In fact, now that we've done this, and I have already taken this off the heat, let's move this to the back burner carefully. Oh boy, very carefully. Wow, this is heavy. Ugh. Ugh. Yeah, that was about as subtle as... And let's move the rice over towards the center. There we go. So folks will have a better view of this. And from here, it's really... I do not want this to slip off. That would not be good. Then from here, once the butter is mixed in, all we have to do now is add a few more ingredients. And that would be a little bit of ground cloves, a little bit of cardamom. If you have never used cardamom in your cooking, I highly recommend it. It's a very strong but very sweet, savory flavor. Similar to ginger, but different. I mean, I'm sure you've had cardamom cookies, and if not, you definitely need to try it. And, of course, you can't forget the turmeric. That, of course, will give a nice golden color to this. I really hope this thing hasn't, excuse me. I hope this thing hasn't settled. Sorry, there we go. Let's try that again. If it has, I'm going to be very surprised. There we are. Oh, good grief. Something tells me my turmeric, I think, unfortunately, regrettably, must have gotten some moisture in it at some point, so I'm going to have to replace this soon enough. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay, just a wee bit more. And then mix this in. Turmeric, as you know, actually, I shouldn't say stains, but let's just say it definitely is quickly gives its own color to pretty much anything that it's added to. Which is one reason why it's so popular in India and why.
Smells so good.
Yep, I have just added the butter and cloves and cardamom and turmeric
I forgot to get a lime.
I'm sorry. Oh, yes, you're right. You're right. I did forget
No,
that.
I said I forgot to get a lime.
Sorry. Do we have lime juice in the fridge by any chance?
No, we don't even have lemon juice anymore. Remember, it was like looking a little questionable.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Really? I didn't think lemon juice went bad like that.
Well, lemons, we had this discussion. It'll say the exact same thing I said last time. Lemons go bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Well, that's true.
And we had it for a substantial long time, you know.
Okay.
I'm gonna give a nice good stir.
If you'd like,
Yeah.
I'll step over to this side. All I have to do now, anyway, is put in. Is put in the rest of the ingredients, and that would be some of these almonds.
All right. Go ahead, stir. I'll stir while you pour.
Pistachios.
Oh, I should have given those a nice coarse chop too.
That's all right.
Oh, my teeth. That's what I was thinking.
And sultanas, aka golden raisins. There we go.
I'm gonna throw some more of those in. Definitely.
More sultanas?
Yeah,
we can do that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
After all, this is to our taste.
Yeah. So I was eating some Spanish rice the other day. Well, it was a bunch of Spanish, some chicken and some pork and yellow rice with gandules.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, and some the beans mixture with the tomatoes and the sofrito and the potato and just regular beans. And there was quartered up limes in the to-go box. So I squeezed the lime juice on everything I was eating. And when I put it on the rice, I was like, well, that's really good. And it gave me the idea, because we're doing this, that maybe lime juice would go really well with this. Because I mean, if you think about it, like it kind of goes along with it. You know, the raisins and the nuts, and it just, yeah. So I want to definitely try that. So that's fully incorporated.
There we go then. Yay.
Hi, everybody. I'm never this close to the mic. You never see anything of me. Now you don't, not like you're even seeing my hands right now, but you don't get to see those either. I get stupid comments every time. People talking shit about what they don't know.
Found and bought an unusual lodge at the beginning of October. Found a lodge scallop number 8. Oh yeah, I remember those. Since then, I found the lid was made for scallop cast iron. Yeah, that definitely was a great score.
Would you like your sport?
And having done so,
isn't that awesome?
Oh yeah,
it's titanium.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a quick video just about this titanium spork. But nonetheless,
don't put it down. It's not full. His spork is titanium. Eric gets to live with a person who makes parodies to everything. And I speak for the cast in most conversations. And they're good.
Okay.
He's like, I would like a treat, please. She's right behind you. Don't step on her.
Oh, I know.
She's serious.
Okay.
She would like a treat.
There we go. I hope the oil hasn't separated in this. Hope this isn't overcooked. Actually, no, this is much better now. All right. Having done that, yeah.
I think. You want me to siphon off the fat on the top?
Yeah, I think a little bit. Unfortunately, I think a little bit of the.
Let me see the metal measuring cup. Or actually, I'll use the small one. That'll be easier for me.
Well, thank you very much.
I got you.
Yeah, it looks like maybe a little bit of extra fat, unfortunately, most likely from the chicken, I guess. Thank you very much for your help.
Actually, what would be really helpful is if we can kind of make a divot, like
Well, feel free.
I got it right there. I'm having a hard time.
Oh, would you like me to do that?
That's perfect.
Okay, there we go.
It's just getting it just right.
Actually, that turned out very nicely.
I know, I'm wicked good at stuff. And I'm not fooling myself. Oh, I know what you're talking about. I mean, once you get past my good looks, my charm, my wits, and my, my humor, my intelligence, it's really my modesty that stands out.
There you go. That, of course, is pretty much any time when you cook with, well, especially with chicken. There's always the worry about the extra oil.
I'm just trying to get it over to one side. It's gonna have to settle. Oh, there we go. Really?
Okay.
I'm gonna try to catch it as it's coming this way. There we go.
Okay. All right. You think we're about ready now?
There's Todd. You should see all the oil on this side. It's not. It's the peanut butter, sweetheart. That's the oil.
Oh, there is that. Yeah. Hey, Mobley. Meanwhile,
I could just do this with paper towel too. Actually,
Yeah.
I just thought of that. Do you need a paper towel? All right, I won't do that on film.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah. Meanwhile,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Interestingly enough, Trouble, believe it or not, the black cat, he is dead to the world right now. He's asleep in the other room. On the other hand, Mobley, who's usually the shy one, she's the one crawling up my leg for attention right now.
Look at tree place. She already told you. I already said something. See, look at her. She's like, she's right. I do. I do want a treat. She's probably not listening. She just told you what I want. Humans.
See.
Okay.
Yeah, there's this.
That's, well, I don't know. I think that's looking about ready.
There's quite a bit. You know what? I'm just gonna take off the whole top layer.
All right.
Yeah, because I'm sitting here like, yeah. Could you just give that a quick dump or something somewhere?
Yeah, I'll take care of that.
All right.
Yeah, there's certainly no shortage of it. So.
No, yeah, exactly. So, that's why I'm like looking at it. I'm like, yeah, why don't I just sitting here like delicately taking out teaspoon by teaspoon.
Especially since we're going to have to either eat all this or foist it off on all of our family and friends.
Friends, I don't have any of those. What are those things called? Friends. And you know what? The rest of it, it'll just mix it back in.
Yeah,
and I'll be able to get it off. Like, oh, it's all still. Hold on. This is all. Here, you want to take? What are we doing? Done with that.
Okay.
We are some serious sticking up on the sides right now. That's why I'm trying to some serious sticking.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go. There we go.
And with that, I think we are about ready to serve.
Actually, that might incorporate some of the fat back in it. Actually, getting more of the stuff off the sides.
Okay.
Getting the fat to incorporate back into the stew instead of pulling up on the top.
Oh,
it's a lot of potato. So, yeah, I'm seeing this a lot. Yeah. Oh, you made it with dark meat chicken this time.
Well, yes, I did.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that's probably is where some more of the fat came from too. You're right. It probably counts for some of the color too, because sometimes, usually well, not usually, the few times he's made this before that I'm familiar with, it was more of a yellow. All right, I need to go sit down.
Okay. Having that.
Can I have the treats, please? She's like,
He's not listening to me.
She has her ears back every time she makes noise. Hey, at least it's not me at the time. Molly has a habit of, she's totally enamored with Eric. So she'll be all lovingly, oh, purr, purr, purr. Oh, look, yeah, Papa, I love you. And I'll speak and she'll put her ears back. And then I'll stop talking and she'll, go up and love on Eric again. And I'll speak and she'll turn around with her ears back.
Why are you so loud?
Yeah.
Why are you talking?
But she's just got an attitude.
Okay. And there we are. Just wanted just the right angle because Thank you once again, everybody, for your patience. There we go. That's a little better. Okay, now that we've done this, we are just about done, folks. I appreciate everybody's patience once again, but nonetheless.
I'm actually going to say goodnight, everybody.
All right, good night.
I still have that almond stuck in my lungs, and I got to go cough it up. So.
And here is our basmati rice.
Delicioso. Oh, and Dai de Muertos, if some people aren't aware, is the Mexican culture. That's how they honor their dead. Is they put out offerings on All Hallows Eve on October 31st, and they put out food offerings and stuff like that. And they believe that the dead come back and visit their families, for a day. That they walk amongst them. So what they do with Mexican culture is they put out pictures and flowers and all their favorite foods. So when they come over, they feel, that they're welcomed and that they're nourished, and they take the food back with them into the afterlife. Obviously, the spirit food, I guess. So that is today. It's Dai de Muertos. So many people see now the skulls, the decorated skulls. Actually, down in Mexico, they make those out of pressed sugar. They make sugar molds, and you'll see the most beautiful, intricate designs they cut into these sugar skulls, and they delicately dye them and paint them. The most beautiful things, and just to think they're just made out of sugar, and in 2 seconds you can just, if you press them hard enough, they'll just crumble. But yeah, so I actually have that tattoo on my back. Before it was popular.
Shadow Walker XM, sorry I'm late. Well, no, you're not late. I think we're all late. After all, it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning here on this Halloween night. And again, I very much appreciate everybody for showing up. Thank you so much, everybody. Having done all that, I think it's time. It's okay. Nice. And as Jamie said, we are actually making this offering of food, really, for, I guess you could say, for absent friends, for those who have passed on, and those who we dearly miss and will always remember. And this is really what I wanted to do tonight, to put this little offering together. And I guess you could call it a spell, in that I am indeed doing my best to wish happy, health, prosperity, good wishes to everyone. You folks watching and everybody else. And I can only very much appreciate everybody who has who's taken the time to come here tonight. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for showing up at this witching hour on Halloween night, the beginning, as mentioned, of the Day of the Dead. Oh, and by the way, for the record, these flames here, this is Everclear, 100% grain alcohol. So it's actually food safe. And once it burns off, it will be completely safe. And thank you, Dr. M. And with that, this is really all I can offer everybody tonight. I can only thank you, everybody, very much for showing up. And I very much appreciate your taking the time here to, be witness to my little attempt at some cauldron magic. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here tonight. Have yourselves a good evening, and we will indeed be seeing. There will be more cooking and more fun with cast iron coming up very soon. Have a good evening, folks.